Miles Swarthout is here with Western Writers of America, and Miles, you have quite a history with Westerns, don't you?
We do. My father was a well-known Western novelist and wrote mainstream books too, but he won some Spur Awards, and we have been picking up prizes here at the National Cowboy Hall of Fame before. The Western Writers are here at our convention now in 2009, but the last time the Western Writers were in Oklahoma City, 1991, my dad won a Lifetime Achievement Award here, right at the Cowboy Hall of Fame for his Westerns, so we have a long history with this museum.
Right, and he wrote a very famous novel. I think more people know the movie than the novel, but it was The Shootist, and you had something to do with that too.
The Shootist was John Wayne's final film, and I just saw in their Cowboy Great Performers room their little movie narrated by Sam Elliott today, and they had a clip from The Shootist, which was very, very cool. A little 15-minute movie about cowboy actors. I did the adaptation for The Shootist. It was my first film credit. It was a great honor to work with my father and be involved in John Wayne's last film, which has become kind of a classic over the years, I think. Yeah, one of his best.
Yes. Now, what was it like having to take something someone else had already created and then adapt it?
Right. What you have to do, and The Shootist is a shorter novel, under 80,000 words, but you still have to excise scenes and characters and dialogue and basically shorten it to get down to 120 or 130 page screenplay. The big thing about The Shootist, the difference between the novel and the movie, is a changed ending. The book itself, the novel, sets itself up for a sequel, and I've just finished writing a sequel to The Shootist called The Last Shootist, which we think is going to be published next year, 2010. It's out to publishers right now. But the movie does not lend itself to a sequel. John Wayne insisted on a change in the ending of the film where the Ron Howard character, the teenage kid, does not do the coup de grace and execute John Wayne in the film. He shoots the bartender who has shot John Wayne in the back, as everybody remembers the final scene in that movie, and he throws his gun away and goes home with his mother and to live happily ever after, and there's no sequel to that story. In the novel, Ron Howard executes the John Wayne character, issues the coup de grace, puts the bullet in his brain because he's dying anyway, and the Shootist character, John Bernard Brooks, asks him to kill himself. So the kid then takes his guns, his famous 2 guns, and walks out of the saloon, and he's got the guns, and he becomes the kid who shot the Shootist. And that's the sequel, what happens to him the next 6 months of his life as guys come after him to get those guns and take on the guy who killed the famous Shootist.
Right. And again, that is called
The Last Shootist. It's just out to publishers right now. I just finished it not long ago. I think it'll be published next. There's quite a fan base of anything to do with John Wayne, and that's a pretty famous title. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, you also have a book that you have edited.
A short story collection of my dad's, what came out from the University of New Mexico Press, called Easterns and Westerns, and it's his only short story collection. There's a couple of prize-winning stories in the book, and one Western story that was in Saturday Evening Post back in 1956 became an old Randolph Scott B. Western called 7th Cavalry, and that's in the book too. That's still in print. It's called Easterns and Westerns, and I've also written an afterword if people are interested in my dad's career and some of the other. He had 8 movies made from his novels, probably the best known of which was Bless the Beasts and Children, which has sold 3 million copies in North America, and a lot of kids had to read that book, Bless the Beasts and Children, in high school English literature classes or college. But people remember the Carpenter's theme song, too, that was up for an Oscar.
Right. Well, I want to thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Thank you, BJ. Nice to be here.